Let's go Pikachu. Pokemon's Red, Blue and Yellow absolutely decimated sales across the globe and is considered to be the best-selling RPGs of all time. Do you think the next installment's going to live up to the challenge? You betcha. Let's go catch 'em all.
Pokemon Gold and Silver is a turn-based RPG that's again developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo that was released for the GB and GBC on the 21st of November 1999 for Japan, the 13th of October 2000 for Australia, the 15th for North America, and was also released for Korea on the 6th of April 2002. The game takes place in the Johto region, 3 years after the first installment that features 100 new pocket monsters where the player must catch, train and defeat several gym leaders, Team Rocket, the Elite Four, champion of the Indigo Plateau, and conquer the treacherous Mount Silver. Pokemon Gold and Silver received critical acclaim and success. Craig Harris from IGN gave the games a score of 10 out of 10, praised the game for its added features and extended gameplay, 9 stars out of 10 from Nintendo Life, sold just under 1.5 million copies on its first day of release in Japan, best and top selling for any handheld platform for that year, and by 2010, a grand total of 23 million units sold worldwide. Let's check it out. This is a great title and definitely brings up some nostalgia from my high school days. Of course, I didn't have a GBA or even a GBC, I was still repping the original Gameboy, and man did I cop some shit. Just like its predecessor, the player begins the game with a choice of 3 Pokemon from Professor Elm's laboratory. And as you can see, I've been pretty damn busy grinding and leveling up my monsters to give you guys a better look at the gameplay. You're welcome. So Gold and Silver were publicly showcased in November 1997 at the Nintendo Space World Expedition in Japan. The developers and Game Freak revealed that the games would feature a new storyline, pocket monsters, open world, and were designed for the newest edition of handhelds, the Game Boy Color, as well as backwards compatibility with the original. Several improvements were made, such as detailed sprites, bigger and better level designs, Pokemon breeding, more items/moves, and a real-time internal clock known as the Pokegear. There was also an unused leaked image that was a demo for 2 fire and water starter pocket monsters. Interesting. Some of my favourites include Lugia, Cyndaquil, Marill, Slowking, Snubbull, Ho-Oh, and a few others. Can't really say the same thing about the next generation, and so forth. I'm referring to Sword and Shield and their stupid theme-based monsters, which we'll be checking out later. Just like its previous installment, the game utilises the Nintendo Game Link cable that allows the player to trade and battle other players' pocket monsters, which I'm not gonna lie, at the time was loads of fun. Nintendo actually made 4 different generations of link cables, obviously for different models, the later models being designed for the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Micro.
So the second generation also introduces Dark and Steel type Pokemon, Steelix, Sizer, Umbreon, some pretty cool designs.
Now again, for your sanity, we won't be doing an entire playthrough, we'll just get this first gym knocked over. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to continue owning these trainers, and leave you guys with a magic mini game that's featured in Pokemon Stadium 1. Enjoy.
Now this is annoying. A bunch of Magikarp flipping out, and the noises are bloody irritating. Ugh, come on. No. Prick. Alright, gym leader battle. Taking on Faulkner. I did give myself a Nuzlocke with this game, limited myself to only 2 hours of grinding, so it's fair game.
Overall, Gold and Silver are significantly better than its predecessors. The games were re-released for the Nintendo DS during March 2010, and commercially they are among the best-selling titles for that platform, with a combined sales of over 10 million units sold. Fantastic. I give Gold and Silver a solid 9 out of 10.
This is the Japanese version, and I'll give you 250 reasons why I opted to get this and not the PAL edition. Yeah, not cheap.
Pokemon Stadium 2 is a turn-based strategy game developed and published by Nintendo that was released for the N64 on the 14th December 2000 for Japan, the 26th of March 2001 for North America, and the 10th of October for Europe and Australia. The game again utilises the transfer pack where the player takes on various trainers and gym leaders, winning cups, trophies and badges. The game also has additional features such as mini games park, free battle, Gameboy tower and supports 2 to 4 players. Pokemon Stadium 2 was the third entry for the series in Japan under the name Gold and Silver and sold exceptionally well on its first day of release, receiving positive reviews with a 78 out of 100 Metacritic score. Retronauts described the title as outstanding. IGN's Chris Carlet gave the game a 7.5 out of 10 and is said to be re-released on the Switch in 2023. Let's check it out. Well, I can't read a damn thing, so I guess we'll keep this short and simple. In general, the game shares the exact same structure as Pokemon Stadium 1. As a matter of fact, the games are pretty much identical. This installment offers slightly more content with the 251 different Pokemonsters, more moves, a few more cups, and the difficulty. It's kinda hard. Majority of it can be a breeze, but the final cup battles will have you losing your bloody mind. I am quite familiar with the bullshit AI and how it all works. Put many hours into this game back in the day and even screamed like a girl. An additional 3 games were added to the Kids Club for a total of 12, which again is just bite-sized junk fun. And I actually did not know this. With the insert game pack in game, the player can use their very own Pokemon to participate in certain minigames. That's kinda cool, I guess. There is some skill involved, I guess, but what it really comes down to is certain or special moves that your average Pokemonster can't really learn. Like when Raichu uses the water attack Surf. No! How does he know how to do Surf? He's electric! Oh! What? Yeah, ignore the fact that it makes no sense whatsoever. Other monsters like Chansey and Wigglytuff can be pretty overpowering as they can learn just about any move they want. Yo, Beauty! Who's the man?
We'll check out one more battle. I'm still waiting for the Switch port. We'll definitely check that out when it gets released. Electrode. What the hell's this guy doing? He keeps doing the same move. Must be agility or something. Who knows?
I do apologise, I will make a purchase of an English version in the future when the stupid price comes down. Put it this way, I ain't no Richie Rich. Little shit.
Modern day AAA Pokemon game.
Pokemon Sword and Shield is an open world turn-based RPG that's developed by Game Freak, published by Nintendo, that was released for the Switch worldwide on the 15th November 2019 and is the first installment of the 8th generation of Pokemonsters. The game is set in the Galar region, based off Great Britain, and just like every other installment in the series, has a player controlling a young trainer, making their way to the Pokemon League, defeating several gym leaders, Team Yellow, several opponents, and the antagonist, Leon. The game also includes 82 new Pocket Monsters, not including DLC, and the introduction of Dynamaxing. Sword and Shield received polarizing reviews. Many publications criticised the game's lack of content, its simplicity, and its horrible online multiplayer, and the fact that the game didn't include pre-existing Pocket Monsters from other installments. The developers blatantly lied and were called out by fans and consumers. Let's check it out. Okay, let's put all the controversy aside and start with the positives and what I like about the title. The story begins with our hero being introduced to all the characters in the game. Got a variety of personalities, Rose, which is, spoiler, a bad guy. Sonya, which I must say is pretty sexy. Hop is our hero's rival. And Leon the Chameleon. One thing I'm praising is the music and battle themes. Some of these mixes are wild and sound great and all add to the suspense and immersion. And the battles are somewhat faster than the older style games. This installment also introduces Dynamaxing, which, yep, you guessed it, they grow big and can be challenged with a bunch of trainers. Not gonna lie, the special moves they pull off have some nice details and effects, and the game rewards you handsomely. That brings us to the wild area, which is probably the best part of Sword and Shield. Making your way around the different environments, catching and battling different Pokemon, I found the most enjoyable and also challenging, as there really isn't a level restriction. So I found myself battling level 50 monsters and actually had to leg it. In general, the concept is great. You've also got a massive variety of monsters, and for the first time ever, you can actually see what you're going into battle with. Other features such as fishing, camping and cooking curry gives the player some variety, also a nice touch. This is only a first impression and that I've only put about 7 hours into the game, but in general I've had a smile on my face for majority of the time. Okay, let's talk about the bad. The game is rushed. The quality control is not good. Keep in mind that this is Game Freak, a multi-billion dollar, well, probably multi-trillion, but whatever the case, I expect high quality animation and gameplay, man. Let's begin with the game's opening cutscene that looks to be unedited and as if someone's just ran a cursor across the screen on a Japanese YouTube? Who knows, but it's lazy. You might also notice that there is zero dialogue, just text, which is disappointing and makes a lot to be desired. The characters, whilst they're not too bad, the story in general sucks. There really isn't much customization either. Few basics like glasses, hats, clothes, meh. The routes and paths are as linear as they get. A fixed camera for majority of the game, which also sucks. It had me wanting to go back to the wild area. I'd actually argue that red and blue version on the Game Boy had a bit more going on. As a matter of fact, some of these moves, sound effects and animations, yep, they've been ripped straight from other titles. Again, lazy. The whole Dynamaxing thing is just a gimmick, and if you've played Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, then you know what I'm talking about. It's pointless. Whilst there is some fun to be had in the wild area, in general it's pretty lifeless, and to be honest, low resolution grass assets and trees that look to be out of an N64 game. That's pretty bad. Come to think of it, a lot of shit pops in and out of this game. NPCs, Pokemon, berry trees that look to be out of another game, buildings. Should I continue? And am I the only one noticing that the frame rate is dramatically dropping throughout some of the cutscenes with too many characters on screen? What the hell, man? As for the difficulty, this game holds your hand from start to finish and looks to be designed for babies. Like I said, these paths are linear, but Jesus Christ, we don't need exposition every 5 minutes. Oh, and it's so imbalanced. I don't need 30 Pokeballs, 7 potions, and several items before I reach Route 2. It's childish, and the whole game falls apart due to the fact that rare candies still exist. Seriously, a few Dynamax battles will have you leveling up in no time, with 5 items per battle. This is where I lost interest, as it defeats the purpose for me to level up my Pokemon through battles. I was actually on board with the shared experience points, but why would I do that when I can just drug my monsters to whatever level I want? It's a flaw. The new generation of Pokemon, I don't like one bit. Even the starter monsters, they get worse as they evolve, and I mean visually. I'd much rather my Skull Bunny than this shitty Raboot. That is a bandit rabbit? A robber? As stated, not a fan of theme-based Pokemon. And I especially hate Inteleon, that's based off a secret agent. Yeah, blow me, the concept sucks. So in conclusion, Sword and Shield is like a double-ended dildo. For everything that the game does right, it takes 2 steps back, and leaves a lot to be desired. It's kinda bad, but it's not the worst. I give Sword and Shield a solid 6 out of 10.
All the rest, yeah.
that's a wrap, people. Next year, Pokemon Coliseum on the Nintendo GameCube. On these pizzas, I'm out of here.